Well, hey kiddies, Retro Dad here. Today is April 13th. It is the $50 challenge where I'm going to go traveling around this local area in Portland and Gresham and look for deals and games to see how much I can spend for $50. Now I have what I call the Three Little Bears scenario. The first scenario could be I find nothing. The second scenario, too much, where I spend that $50 like right away. And the third one is like just right, where I find a little bit of something at every store. I'm gonna go to about 5 or 6 stores. Well, one prediction I have is that I'm gonna find a lot more original Xbox games. Possibly some PlayStation 2. It'd be really nice to find some SNES, Sega, or even NES games. Maybe even some Game Boy games, but that rarely happens. I haven't seen those at thrift stores or even at Goodwills in a very long time. So the question for you guys, what do you think I will get for $50? What I'll bring home? Well, let's travel around these stores and find out, guys. Come on! Well, here I go off to the $50 challenge. Going to the first store, which is Salvation Army. I've gotten some pretty good deals from them the last couple times I've gone. I'm hoping for a repeat. I'm hoping maybe to find some classic games too. That'd be pretty nice. All right, I just arrived. First stop of the day. Going to the thrift store. Now it's 50% off day. That's why I chose Wednesday to do it. So hopefully I'll find some goodness inside. So cross our fingers. Well, the $50 challenge has started off probably with that third scenario that I talked about. I wasn't overwhelmed in there. They did have some games. When I first went in there, I saw nothing but sports titles. So I did get a little bit of a haul, and we'll go check that out later. But now we're gonna head over somewhere else, and we're not very far from here. Well, I'm at the Goodwill. Usually I don't find very many good things here anymore, but I'll risk it and head here. I'm gonna head to like maybe 1 or 2 Goodwills after this as well. We'll see what happens. Well, surprisingly, they had quite a bit of Wii games, some PlayStation 2 and original Xbox games. But the thing is, Goodwill's not cheap. They go about $4 or $5 on these games, and you know, it's the $50 challenge. You want to bring home as many games as possible. It's only got one game. Well, hey guys, I'm on 82nd. I'm going to a place called Stuff. They usually have some pretty good deals. Let's see what I get. Well, guys, just got out of Stuff. Got 2 games. They actually had quite a bit of NES selection. I already owned them all, and they were retail price. So I'm going to go to the next stop. All right, time to go to thrift store number 2. Sometimes I find things at this one, sometimes I don't. We'll see what happens. Well, disappointing, kiddies. Nothing at the Salvation Army. I did get some free artwork, though. All right, looks like it's time to go to the second Goodwill of the day. It's probably the last Goodwill I go to. Pretty much what I thought. I didn't find anything there. So I'm gonna go to the last store of the day, a CD Game Exchange on Burnside. It's noon, I'm hungry. It's probably the best haul of the day. As you see the bag next to me. So I spent my last $23.50 from the $50 challenge. So I'm gonna get some lunch, head home, and I'll wrap up the video and show you what I got. The $50 challenge is complete. No pun intended, but actually, I found it more challenging than I thought it would be. Was it successful? I'll leave that up to your own opinion. So let's overview. The first stop was the 82nd Salvation Army store. When I first walked in, I didn't see the games in the normal section. I did find a couple sports titles, but there was a hidden rule I forgot to put in my previous video when I was talking about this. sports titles can only make up 10% of the haul. There was some sports titles. Now, I turned around, I looked, it was actually a stack of games. I grabbed them, but I did leave one game behind, Bratz for the PlayStation 2. The reason I chose Wednesday is it's a 50% off day. So I went in there and grabbed 7 titles. Spy Hunter for the original Xbox. Complete in the Box 2005 Professional Drag Racing. A repeat, but a good one, Halo. A PSP game, alright. It's SpongeBob though. Hey, I'm wearing yellow today and he's yellow, so maybe that's a good sign. The funny thing is, when the worker brought it over to me, she's never heard of PSP games. So these are the weirdest things I've ever seen. So that tells me that store does not get very many PSP games. She's been there for a while. Blood Awake for the original Xbox, complete. Alright, a fishing game, another PSP game. Brothers in Arms complete, but there's a bonus. It came with an extra game. Men of Valor. I'll take it. So I got each of those games for $2 a piece. I spent $14 at the first store. Not a bad start. Going into a Goodwill is sometimes a gamble. You know they might have games, but you're not going to pay bottom prices. A lot of times games will be like $5, $4 at Goodwill. That's why I only picked up one game. But it's complete. Blood Rain, one of my favorite stores in town called Stuff. They have a little bit of everything. They get classic games. They had quite a bit of NES titles and a few Sega Genesis titles. But I already owned them and they were at market value. So I went over there to the GameCube section because I've seen some really good GameCube games a couple weeks ago. They were all gone, including even original Xbox games I was looking for were gone. So I went over there to the PS1 section. They have a very tiny PS1 section and found a couple games. So I got Jet Moto 2 for $2.50. And for a whole dollar, this. It's not complete, it's missing the back side, but maybe I could find the back some other time. So the One Salvation Army was a bust. They didn't have anything. But I did pick up some free artwork because the case was missing the game. So I asked her, hey, this has no disc, they're just gonna throw it away anyway, can I just keep the artwork? She said, yeah. Score, because the artwork that I have for this game is an X-Rental. So it doesn't count as a $50 challenge, but I got this. The next Goodwill was a bust, only because I didn't want to spend $4 to $5 a piece. See, the $50 challenge was about getting as many games of quality if possible, so you had to stretch that dollar. Now, there was some interesting things in the Goodwill, including some really interesting Japanese PlayStation 2 titles. Now, this one was really cool. I wanted to pick it up, but since I only had $50 to spend on this challenge, I couldn't afford any dollars wasted. Plus, I don't collect non-NTSC titles. So the last store, CD Game Exchange, and they have everything from Atari all the way up to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I went in, scoured around, and I found some goodies. 2 PSP games for $1 each. For $1. Not complete for $2.50. Legacy of Kain for $2.50. This is a game I used to own when I first had my original Xbox. Got it for $1. Serious Sam 2 for $1. Dead to Rights for $1. Working Designs Gun Griffin Blaze for $2.50. The sequel that I'm missing for $2.50. Orphan for $2.50. This is the game I spent the most money today, but it's a game I've been wanting since the Devil May Cry days for $5. So was the $50 challenge successful? Well, I got 23 games for $50. Surprisingly, the game that's worth the most out of all the games I got today was the SpongeBob game. That's usually about a $15 game. Well, I got it for $2. Well, one prediction I have is that I'm gonna find a lot more original Xbox games. So was my prediction correct? I think so. I pulled out a lot more original Xbox games. Nothing wrong with that. But I got a little bit of everything with the exception of the classic games I was hoping to get. So I'm gonna do this challenge again in about a month. In 2 months, I'm actually gonna challenge a couple of YouTubers and other fellow collectors to the $100 challenge. So have fun, go game, see you later. So that was the $50 challenge. Thank you so much for watching it. Do you think the challenge was successful? I think it was, and I learned a lot.